Ever feel like some leaders just, they have this knack for, like, bringing out the best in everyone around them?
It's almost like magic, right?
Yeah. Like they walk into a room and everyone's suddenly smarter.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're diving into today with Liz Wiseman's book, Multipliers.
So we're ditching the accidental intelligence drain and hopefully becoming those leaders who inspire, who amplify, who multiply.
Love it. And Wiseman really nails it right from the start. She makes this really compelling distinction between two types of leaders, the diminishers and the multipliers.
Okay, so diminishers versus multipliers sounds kind of epic, like a superhero showdown. But in all seriousness, what's the difference?
Well, diminishers often unintentionally, they create this atmosphere where, people hold back.
Ah, so it's like the collective IQ of the room just drops a few points when they walk in.
Yeah, kind of. It's subtle sometimes, but it's there. Whereas multipliers, they do the opposite. They create this energy that just seems to make everyone smarter.
And Wiseman isn't afraid to be blunt about it either. I mean, she comes right out and says, if you're a genius and you're the only one who knows it, you're just a diminisher with a high IQ.
Ouch.
Right. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it also makes you think, so how do we avoid accidentally being a diminisher?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the good news is Wiseman gives us a roadmap. She breaks down exactly what multipliers do differently.
Okay, so less doom and gloom, more solutions. Lay it on us. What's the secret sauce?
Well, one of the most striking examples she uses is Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. Apparently, he once challenged his sales team to achieve revenue growth without increasing headcount.
Wait, so he basically told them to do more with less. I can only imagine the looks on their faces.
Right, but that's the thing about multipliers. They see potential where others see limitations.
So it's less about throwing more resources at a problem and more about like maximizing the resources you already have.
Exactly. It's this fundamental belief that people are capable of so much more than they think. And that, my friend, is the essence of the multiplier mindset.
Okay, that was chills down my spine inspiring, but I have to ask, how do they actually do it? How do multipliers go from this belief in potential to actually making magic happen?
Well, Wiseman breaks it down into 5 key disciplines. And the first one is attracting and optimizing talent.
Okay, sounds like standard HR stuff, but I'm guessing there's a multiplier twist.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about filling a role. It's about uncovering what Wiseman calls native genius.
Native genius. Intriguing. So what are we talking about, like hidden talents or?
It's more than that. Imagine being the kind of leader who sees a strength in someone that even they didn't fully recognize in themselves. That's what multipliers do.
Yeah. Okay, now that's next level leadership. It's like each person is a puzzle,
Hmm.
and the multiplier has this uncanny ability to see the finished picture when everyone else is still stuck on like the first few pieces.
Exactly. And once they've attracted that talent, they don't just let it sit there.
Let me guess. They amplify it, make it shine.
You got it. And that brings us to the second discipline, creating intensity that requires best thinking.
Okay, hold on. Before we go full on pressure cooker, nobody does their best work feeling completely overwhelmed,
Yeah.
right? So how do multipliers create that sweet spot between challenge and, total meltdown? So we're not talking about like, those stereotypical high-pressure work environments.
No, not at all. It's actually the opposite. Multipliers understand that real brilliance, it needs space to breathe.
Okay, so less pressure cooker, more what, like a greenhouse?
Yeah.
Nurturing those ideas to grow.
Exactly. Wiseman uses this phrase, ferocious listening, and I love that because it's about creating this environment where people feel safe to take risks, to toss out those crazy ideas, knowing they'll be heard.
Ferocious listening. I like that. So it's not just like passively taking it in. It's about actively engaging with those ideas, right?
Absolutely. Think about a time when you felt truly heard, like someone was really present with you, soaking up every word you said.
Oh, yeah. I can think of a few times, and it's definitely a game changer.
Right. It makes you feel valued, respected. And when you feel that way, you're more likely to contribute your best thinking, to really push the boundaries.
Okay, so we've gone from attracting those top-notch thinkers to creating a space where their brains can really, like, light up.
Yeah.
But at some point, you got to, actually do something with all those brilliant ideas.
Totally. And that's where discipline number 3 comes in, extending challenges.
Yeah, extending challenges. So not just handing out tasks, but, like, stretching people beyond their comfort zones.
Yes. But here's the key. It's not about piling on more work. It's about packaging those challenges in a way that makes people believe the impossible is possible.
So here's another thing for you to do and more. I believe you can climb Mount Everest, and here's a map and some gear.
Exactly. It's like, think about a coach who pushes their athletes to achieve what they didn't even think they were capable of.
Yeah, gotta love a good sports analogy.
Yeah.
But it's true. The right coach can make you feel like you can conquer the world.
Right. And it's the same principle here. Multipliers instill that same sense of belief in their teams, that sense that they can achieve anything they set their minds to.
Okay, I'm all fired up now. We got the talent, the intensity, the ambitious goals. But doesn't all that brain power eventually lead to, some disagreements? How do multipliers keep things from turning into a free-for-all?
That's where Discipline 4 comes in, debating decisions. And you're right, it's not about avoiding conflict altogether.
Because, let's be honest, a little healthy debate can be a good thing, right?
Yeah,
Keeps things interesting.
exactly. Multipliers, they actually see debate as a critical part of the decision-making process.
Okay, so it's less about silencing dissent and more about orchestrating it, like making sure it's constructive and productive.
You nailed it. They set clear parameters for the discussion, they make sure it's grounded in facts and logic, and most importantly, they make sure everyone feels safe to contribute their perspectives.
Yeah, it's like that saying, if two people always agree, one of them isn't thinking. But, I mean, how do multipliers keep that from going too far? You don't want it to be chaos, right?
Right. And that's where that fifth discipline comes in, instilling ownership and accountability. It's not just about brainstorming, it's about, owning those ideas, seeing them through.
So it's about making sure those ideas actually turn into action,
Right.
not just floating around in space.
Exactly. It's about giving people, a sense of responsibility, not just for their own little piece, but for the whole thing.
And that takes trust, right? Like trusting your team to make decisions, even if it means they might, mess up sometimes.
Yeah, and that's a big difference between diminishers and multipliers. Diminishers, they often think control is the same as leadership.
Yeah, I can see that.
But multipliers, they get that real empowerment means letting go a little.
So it's about setting clear expectations, giving people the support they need, and then, stepping back and letting them shine.
Exactly. It's about creating that environment where people feel, both supported and accountable at the same time.
Powerful combination, for sure. So if we had to boil down multipliers to its essence, what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say it's this. Everyone has the potential to be a multiplier. It's not like you're born with it or you're not.
It's a skill you can develop.
Exactly. It's a way of thinking, a set of skills you can learn. And honestly, the impact is huge, both for you and for the people you work with.
Love that. So it's about shifting from that scarcity mindset, there's only so much intelligence to go around kind of thing,
Yeah.
to a more abundant one where you believe everyone has something valuable to offer.
Absolutely. It's about creating a world where everyone feels, empowered to be themselves, to share their ideas, to really contribute.
That's what it's all about, right? So there you have it, everyone. Our deep dive into Liz Wiseman's multipliers. We talked about the 5 disciplines, from attracting that amazing talent to making sure people feel ownership and everything in between.
And the best part, these are skills we can all work on, Think about those leaders you've had, the ones who made you feel valued, challenged, but in a good way. What did they do? How can you be more like that?
Because we all have that power within us to be a multiplier.